Hello beautiful people, it's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today we're back again with another video from Piers Morgan. We're going to be checking this together. Let's check it out.
Well, Dylan Mulvaney, my real problem with this is you've got somebody making an absolute ton of cash by, it seems to me, mocking women and womanhood, despite until mid-20s identifying as a man because she was born a biological man.
Well, it doesn't seem to me, as a woman myself, I can tell you that's exactly what Dylan Mulvaney is doing. He's made a killing on mocking women with his stereotypical misogynistic comments, and you hit the nail on the head. This new song, right, reducing women down to picking up medication, being lazy, not being able to get out of bed, shopping and retail therapy, hooking up with men and being sex crazed. Again, as a woman, I have not lived that lifestyle. So that's what this is. It's a mockery of a woman, and let's be real. I think the most ironic part of this is he looks like a man. If you're watching that video, he looked like a man who was wearing a wig with pigtails. He's not fooling anybody.
Brandon, I mean, it's complicated. I have nothing but respect for people who transition, for transgender people. I want them to have the rights to fairness and equality.
I'm sure you would have stopped Riley from misgendering.
Hang on, I'm going to come to that.
That's clearly not true.
I didn't misgender her.
No, but you would have stopped her from doing that on your programme.
Well, okay, we'll come to you in a moment, James. Just wait. But Brandon, there's all these issues, misgendering and so on. What do you make of the wider thing of Dylan Mulvaney, this cultural phenomenon now in America, basically sending up what it means to be a woman?
I think it's absolutely appalling to give credit and credence to a person who's mocking women. Dylan Mulvaney, I don't think is serious whatsoever. You got a gay man who has a lust for fame, fortune, and what does he do? If it's being gay is not working out for you, you become trans and you try to make a lot of money, which is what Dylan Mulvaney has done. Dylan Mulvaney is not an example of women. He's not even trying to be a woman. He walks around with a 5 o'clock shadow and dresses up in women's clothes and mocks women. He's berating women. I have never in my life seen a woman act like Dylan Mulvaney. Not one person on this panel can show me a woman that's as flamboyant and radical and twitching and twisting and acting like Dylan Mulvaney.
Are you insane? Did you watch the Barbie movie? What are you talking about? Who are you to talk about who a woman is? You're a man. This is absolutely nonsense.
Who are you to talk about?
I'm not telling anyone who a woman is, but I'm certainly not telling someone who isn't a woman.
I've never seen a woman.
Do you think Dylan Mulvaney is doing women a favour with this?
Do you know what? Dylan Mulvaney is speaking to a huge generation of which none of you understand. Like, you guys are over.
That is my generation.
I don't know any woman, I've got to say, of any age who thinks that anything other than Dylan Mulvaney is taking the piss.
Nonsense. Well, so you don't know any woman under the age of, what, 40?
I know lots of women under 40. Yeah.
Right, and you think they all think Dylan is taking the piss?
Yes, they do.
No, that's insane.
The ones
I will say, you've sat here on your show and you've bashed Madonna and Sam Smith and all of these other icons. So Dylan just joins.
Icons to you, they're not to me.
Dylan just joins them in the hall of
But the central allegation, James, is that what she does, and I think this video clip is absolutely indicative. She's making...
It's a pop song. Have you not seen her do a Lipa music video?
To be honest with you, I haven't got the energy to get into the misgendering debate, right? I think the whole personal pronoun thing is a lot of crap. But for the benefit of this conversation, let's move past that. I'll call her she, if that's what she wants to be called. But what she is not is a biological woman. Until her mid-20s, she identified as a gay man. And that's the point there that Brandon was making. And for someone who was a gay man to put their hand up and say, I'm now a woman, and by the way, I'm going to make tens of millions...
misunderstanding what...
Hang on. So make tens of millions of dollars mocking women, which is how many women see it. I think that is
mocking
wrong.
Women, or Kylie was mocking women, or Madonna was mocking women just because they're expressing their femininity.
They're women.
It's not okay to say that, and you're misunderstanding how difficult it is to discover your identity as a woman.
I don't see Dylan Mulvaney struggling at all.
Dylan Mulvaney has documented
Dylan Mulvaney is reveling in mocking womanhood.
No.
Well, actually, the thing is, I don't think Dylan Mulvaney, I don't take offense to what Dylan Mulvaney is doing because it makes sense. In the current media landscape that we live in, it makes sense for this man, it's a man, to become as flamboyant, effectively caricature of a woman. And I don't take offense to it because I treat Dylan Mulvaney like he is, which is a mentally unwell person. He is a mentally unwell person. I don't see him as a woman. He's not a woman. He's a mentally unwell person.
In a case like this, where Dylan Mulvaney's only identified as a woman for what, 2 years, and was a gay man till her mid-20s, I don't think
do you realise that Dylan...
James, I don't think you have any right to compel women to say that this is
Do you understand how difficult it is to realise that you're trans, to understand the complexity. Do you understand the
And how does this
complexity of
help
that?
them?
You have trans
How does
people.
this help
You
trans
know
people?
Do you have
that
any
it's
idea
difficult
how
to find your
difficult it is
identity and that
to
people
be a
accidentally
woman?
Listen,
go
Riley has a very good
We've
riposte.
discussed this before.
Hang on, Riley.
Doesn't make you right.
Just imagine how woke can it be. Imagine a man telling a woman you don't have an idea how difficult it is to be a woman. Make it make sense. The officer Tatum and Esther Krakue just cracked me up. He said 5 o'clock shadow. What? And absolutely, normally, exactly what Esther said, and I stand with her. Normally, when you see a man playing dress up or dressing like a woman, you would ask the question, and these people normally belong to Yaba left. Exactly. There is no doubt about it, but let us just pretend and say, oh, well, it is okay. Totally okay. Because exactly what the officer Tatum said, somebody like the lifestyle Dylan is living, you'll be asking, like, which woman lives that lifestyle? James here is comparing the lifestyle to a movie. Now, just imagine how insulting, how they've completely reduced a woman to not just costume, to a movie, fiction. So now a woman is a fiction. How insulting is that? But let's keep that aside and think about someone else's feeling, because your feeling don't matter. A man's feeling, a confused man's feeling, is what matters over yours or over you as a woman, because you as a woman, how dare you counter a man that is confused and think that a man cannot be a woman? How dare you? You've never lived the experience. You don't know what it is to be a woman. You as a woman, you're telling a biological man who is confused that he is a woman and he knows how to be a woman more than you that is a woman. How insulting can that be?
Doesn't make you right.
You mentioned you have no idea how difficult it is to identify as trans. Let me ask you, do you have any idea how difficult it is to be a woman in today's climate, and then to be entirely mocked by a man merely posing to be a
That's
woman?
how
Do you
you
have
feel,
any
and that is not true.
idea?
That is not Dylan's
Yeah,
intention.
why-
Well,
you-
it's not just how I feel. There's been an avalanche. There has been an avalanche of people on TikTok, on the left and the right, coming out now saying, hold on, this is
Dylan
wrong.
is a
And this isn't the first time that
beautiful
Dylan Mulvaney
human
has been under fire.
Here's the thing.
His first days of girlhood, he
I'm
came
not
out
gonna have a
after day
conversation with you,
365
keep
or whatever
misgendering
day
her.
it was.
You can't compel people to do that.
Yes,
you
I
can't.
can,
No,
because
you
it's-
can't. You can call
It's
Dylan Mulvaney.
discrimination.
You can call Dylan
It's
Mulvaney
discrimination,
whatever
Piers.
you want.
It's discrimination.
But Riley Gaines, of all
and listen,
people,
Riley, I do sympathise with you,
You know
about
what?
how
No,
difficult
let
it is
me
to be
tell
Riley
you
a woman.
Gaines has
something.
had to
You know
compete
what?
against
Riley, I want
biological
to listen
males.
to how difficult it is to be a woman, because I want to understand that. I know that's tough. As a gay man, I'm also a victim of the patriarchy. We all bloody are. Like, it's
Look, we don't need to
bloody
do the
awful.
identity
I've seen the
politics.
Barbie movie.
You are
Let me tell you
part of the
something.
patriarchy.
You
What are you
mentioned-
talking
I've
about?
read the book. I
You
understand,
mentioned
but you're
you mentioned discrimination.
you being a
You
woman.
mentioned discrimination.
Let Riley
Let me
speak.
tell you
Stop talking
something.
over the
Do
woman.
you
I haven't
believe that it's
No one's
okay?
allowing me to finish a point.
What's your point?
Am I
Go
allowed
ahead.
to speak?
Sure.
God, okay, fine, I finished.
What's your point? You haven't got one, have
My
you?
point, no, I
Riley.
have. My point is, Riley, that
Let me say something.
I understand how hard it is
Okay,
to be a
go
woman
ahead.
and that you fought so hard to be a woman, and I have so much empathy with that, so I can understand why it is so upsetting when, in your view, someone who isn't a woman comes along and says they are, because it undermines all of the history of what women have been through.
Yes.
But that's not a trans
Well-
woman's fault. That is men's fault. Men are the problem, not Dylan, not trans women.
men are the problem.
Except
No,
trans
lying
women are
about
men.
objective
Men are the- of course,
truth
I
is
knew
the
it would come back
problem.
to us.
That is what the problem is.
Riley?
Are you saying it's not? Are you
Let me
saying
tell
you're
you
not a
something.
victim
You-
of men? Because what are we talking
No,
about?
what
She's
I'm
a
saying
victim
here
of
is what we are
biological
suffering from
men.
as a
No,
nation.
they're women,
Really
no, no.
globally,
And
what we're
women
suffering
forever
from.
have been a victim of men. That is true.
No, she's
right?
a victim. She's a victim of gay men.
Here, let me take
That's
you
what
back.
this-
Let me
that's
tell
this
you
is
what
about.
I'm
So
a
gay men are
victim
victim.
of.
Do you know what? Let's just pick on all the minorities.
Let me-
Let's
Dylan
throw Megan in
Mulvaney
as well.
is
Let's
a
chuck
gay
in
man
Megan.
that's doing this.
You think
So
Megan's
is
a
Leo
minority?
Thomas and all
I am
these other
so
people.
done with this conversation.
Let
Yeah.
me tell you. Let
Isn't
me
it
tell
interesting
you
how
what I'm a
James wants to
victim of.
control everyone's thoughts?
No, I don't. I
You
just
wanna
want everyone to have a
hang on,
nice, civilized
hang on.
conversation.
You want to control
Piers.
everyone's speech,
Why
and
is
how
no
they
one-
speak and how they refer to people. They're not allowed to have their opinions.
Yes,
Only
they are.
you want to mansplain
not-
to women what they should be thinking, and at the same time you want to blame the
I'm
patriarchy.
not. I want everyone to be kind to everyone.
Oh, no, you don't.
That's what. Yes, I
Hold
do.
on, stop right
yes,
there.
I do.
Did he be like
It is
me,
not
the
kind.
patriarchy? Want to
It
be
is-
kind to me?
It is not kind to ask a young girl to undress in front of a man. That is not what kindness
Right.
is. And if that's what you believe your definition of kindness is, you have a totally warped perception. And let me tell you, it's not inclusive to ask a girl like myself what happened to me and my teammates. It's not inclusive to ask us to smile and step aside and allow these men onto our podiums. That is not what inclusion is. That is exclusion. And it's exclusive to the very female athletes or women in general, who Title IX in the women's sporting category was passed to protect and to honor and to celebrate and to uphold.
And
so
Riley,
I think we have
Riley,
very
for those
different
who
definitions of what kindness really is.
Right, so Riley, I totally agree with you. And Riley, for those who don't know what's going on with the NCAA, the National Collegiate Athletic Association in America, you're one of many athletes, female athletes, suing them for their transgender participation policy. Why?
Yeah, so basically the NCAA, their most basic duties are to protect athletes, both male and female, to protect their opportunities, to protect their safety, to protect their privacy in areas of undressing. And bottom line is the NCAA is failing on every account of that by allowing men into our fields, onto our courts, in the pool with us, in our locker rooms. So that's what this lawsuit is about. That's what we're hoping to change here. So again, myself plus 15 other athletes who have been adversely impacted at the hands of the NCAA are now taking legal action and saying what they are doing explicitly and actively and directly is discriminating against us on the basis of our sex. And so to your point, if we want to talk about discrimination, that's exactly what my teammates and myself and my competitors and girls around the country, again, at the hands of the NCAA, continue to have happen to
Well,
them.
you're also discriminating. But what about lesbians? Are they allowed in your changing rooms?
They're biological women.
No, but you're talking about women.
They're women.
Yeah, they're women.
But you're worried about women seeing
Look,
your body?
I mentioned nothing
what's
about.
going on?
I mentioned nothing about. No. What I have a problem with is I don't want to see a naked man's genitalia. I'm married. I have a husband. You think my husband wants me seeing another naked man while he also gets to simultaneously, non-consensually at that, get to see me naked? No way. That goes against my values as a Christian. That goes against my values as a married woman. No way. That's what I have a problem with. It has nothing to do with his sexual orientation. I don't know if Thomas likes men or women or what, but
right. I want to play a clip.
What you see here is a gay man trying to tell women how to behave or how to react when they see a man, to totally accept a man. When men who pretend to be women wear dress up, is only undermining women or downplaying what a woman is, because they've practically reduced a woman to costume whatever caricature game they want to be playing or whatever they want to do or whatever feelings they have. They've practically reduced what a woman is to feelings, to costume, which honestly don't even make sense. And you're telling women to totally accept it. What is a woman's business with a man who is confused in a woman's locker room? What is a man doing there? All because he's confused. That is not inclusion. It's not inclusive. We have to be honest. But let's not talk about that, because you don't know what it is for a man to come out of a shadow and pretend to be a woman. But how about a woman telling you don't know what it is like to be a woman? But now, no, don't say that, because if you say that, it is offensive to the man playing dress up. So what are you saying? That practically being a woman is all about wearing a dress. So let me get this straight. If a woman today decides to wear bumper short or wear short or decide to wear baggy jeans or trouser or whatever, does that mean the woman is a man? Is that it? Because practically they've reduced women to costume, that a man can wake up and play dress up or live exotic lifestyle, flamboyant lifestyle, as it is shown or seen in the movies, and then all of a sudden he can pretend to be a woman. It doesn't even make sense. Then they try to play the victim here, or try to play the card that people hate them. Nobody hates you. People are just calling you out and telling you the truth. And obviously, people don't like the truth, because if you like the truth and if you want to do yourself a favor, you would realize and you would know that a man can never be a woman, nor can a woman be a man. And that is the truth.
Esther, do you feel educated?
I feel the opposite. I actually feel myself losing brain cells. I actually thought my brain was going to leak through my nose, realizing Leah Thomas or Liam Thomas, or whatever the name is, dating history. Look, I don't think, the reason why I don't get as worked up or upset about this is because I recognize society's flaw. They have given mentally unwell people the status of being right. They've given the status of validating their delusions. And in other ways, compelling us to validate those delusions. I'm not offended by Dylan Mulvaney. It doesn't offend me, because this is a mentally unwell person. Why should I be offended that this person is trolling? I actually think a lot of conservative stations make the mistake of giving people like Dylan Mulvaney the publicity that he craves. Because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm looking at a mentally well person. That's a lie. I'm not going to do that.
You're gatekeeping womanhood, which is the most manly
difficult.
thing you could possibly do. So
You were educated at the expense of the British taxpayer. You were educated at the expense of the British taxpayer, and you don't know the difference between a man and a woman.
James,
are you serious?
You cannot compel people to use
I'm
the
not
language
people,
you
but
want
I
them
want
to
people
use.
to be kind.
I am kind.
You're just
I'm
calling,
lovely.
You're calling her
kind.
mentally unwell.
He is mentally unwell.
That's not nice. That is very
Excuse
unkind.
me, I'm
Everyone
sorry.
on this panel so
If
far has
I-
had zero
if you
empathy
saw
for
someone-
any of the people we're
if you saw
discussing.
someone-
I
if you-
have
You don't want to hear other people's opinions.
Than Riley has
You don't
for
want to
literally
hear
anyone
other
else.
people's opinions.
Yeah, Brandon, coming to you.
Everyone
Where's-
has an opinion. You may not like the opinion, which is
But
fine.
where's
I
the
don't agree
love?
with you.
Where's
It
the love?
doesn't
It's in
matter.
not lying.
You think love is lying to people and deceiving people. I think love is telling people the truth and being consistent across the board. Dylan Mulvaney is crazy.
Where's the dignity?
Now let me tell you
Where's the
this.
respect?
Let me tell you this.
Where's the
Let's
respect?
put this in perspective.
Where's the respect?
Because I think people get caught up in the gender role thing. Just imagine if a person was white and decided to identify as black and did all of these crazy
We've
things
had-
that
this
they
argument
thought
has been had so many times.
stereotypically. Listen, that they did stereotypically what black people would do. We would be outraged.
We would.
It would be a sham.
I agree.
We would not accept it. And so we shouldn't do that. What Dylan Mulvaney is doing is wearing women face. The person is not a woman. He's not trying to be a woman. He's impersonating.
Honestly,
negative
like I can't
perceptions of a
continue
woman.
to sit here listening to this absolute nonsense. Riley, I want to ask you a question because a lot of this is to do with sport and how you feel it's unfair because you're up against people with
It is unfair.
a bigger body, right? So do you think
With
it's
men.
unfair that someone who's taller than you or has more strength than you can be in the same team? Is that the argument we're making here? Is that what's unfair?
I think it's
Riley?
to do with the chromosomes, but I'll let Riley answer that.
The conclusion you're drawing, let's look at this for what it is. A man, on average, you take any sport, you take track and field, you take swimming. Swimming is the sport I played, let's look at swimming. Across the field consistently, if you look at the world record against the men on the men's side versus the world record on the women's side, consistently that athletic performance gap is 10 to 12%. Someone being a few inches taller than me, it does not make up for that 10 to 12% performance gap we're talking about by having a man competing against a woman. Of course, there are natural advantages that people possess, but what we're talking about specifically here is beyond comparison to what the conclusion you're drawing right now.
Let's
The conclusion I'm drawing is that we should just get rid of gender altogether and we should have sports based on body metrics because then
You would like to have the Olympics.
No.
Just to be clear, the Olympic Games, you'd have gender neutral.
Yes, I would, because the
don't be so ridiculous.
only reason,
And
Riley,
women-
surely
women
you
would-
agree, the
women
only
would
reason women's
struggle.
sport exists is because men were gatekeeping sport for so long and then finally said, you know what, fine, have your own. But really, if we just remove
many
gender,
biological women?
if we remove
Hang
gender
on.
from sports, please let me finish my point, then we won't have this issue. Safety won't be an
so
issue.
I'm
We
sorry.
can make sure that
That is-
everyone
that
has
is
a
ridiculous.
fair chance
That is so
at
Insane.
competing
James,
together.
that is so spectacularly ill-informed and dumb.
Well, is it, Riley?
Wait,
if
are you saying we
if you
should-
have a
are you saying-
gender-neutral
are you-
Olympics, no
I'm
biological
saying,
women
Okay,
no,
okay.
you're
would
missing my
win
point.
a gold medal.
let me just
except
add a point
possibly
here.
saying that
Are
we
you
have
saying that we
groups
should
of
get
people
rid of
competing
men and
against
women's
people that
sports
have similar
altogether?
body types, body metrics, bone index,
That
whatever.
makes no
no
sense. You
understanding of
clearly have
physiology
never played
whatsoever.
sports before.
Are you
He's never
are you
really played
saying that
sports
we should
before.
get rid of sporting categories altogether and have just one
Yeah, he
big
is,
pool?
yeah.
No, I'm saying people should compete against people
Okay,
that have a
okay.
similar body type so that it's fairer.
That makes no sense.
Well-
You never played sports before.
It never
So if
has.
you're,
That's
if
like
you're
saying- that's like
talking
saying
about
that's what we're
getting
talking
rid,
about.
That's
okay,
like saying
hold on.
race at
I've
best.
come up
If
with a
you're saying that
solution
we
for
are-
the problem that doesn't exist.
No, you haven't.
That's
You just
not
don't
a solution.
understand it.
Well, you don't understand it either.
There is no
If you're saying
comparison
that we
between the
should get
bone
rid-
density and body mass of males and females. That's why they separate the sexes in sports.
That's not
because
why they separate the
biological
sexes,
males
Dave.
would
They separate them
destroy
because men did not
biological
want women
females.
playing sports.
There's a reason they
Track it
separate
back.
them.
If
Track
you're
it back.
saying that we should get rid of sporting categories altogether, do you support the idea of eliminating the Paralympics versus the Olympics?
I think that's a really great question, and I need
Oh
to,
my God.
I need to look into that because, as you say,
The
You
conundrum.
want Paralympians to
pretzel.
compete against
You
I would
Olympics.
imagine not.
It
To be
always
honest,
twists back
You are
on
a
itself.
total
It
but maybe
always
that's the
does.
point. Maybe that's the point.
The point is you never
That's
play sport,
very,
have you?
that's very
Have you ever played
see,
sport?
ablephobic.
Hang on.
That is incredibly
I think
ablephobic.
we're on
Someone's
one.
gonna
Hang
look it up. I
on.
don't
Time
even know
out.
anything
Time
about
out.
sport.
I want to ask James one simple
Are
question.
you saying
anything
people
about
who are
James,
disabled
have you ever played
don't
sport at
deserve a
all?
chance
No,
to
of course I haven't
He's
played
never
sport.
played sport
Do I look
in
like
his
a person
life.
that's into
What he
sport?
wants
No.
is Paralympians taking on
No, I
Olympians.
don't want that.
Honestly,
I want
to have
everyone to be
gender-neutral
safe. I
Olympics.
want everyone to
Honestly,
be happy. I
none-
want everyone
none
to be
of-
treated with dignity
James,
and respect.
none of this.
Actually, you don't. You
we-
want unfairness and inequality to
We
rage
would-
Absolutely.
and ruin
How
women's
dare
sport
you tell me what to think?
irrevocably.
You just had a go at me about
You've
that.
just said a load of crap.
Well, so have you.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
I
Honestly-
understand physiology and sport.
Well, good for you.
You don't.
Good for you, but you don't understand
Here's-
loving
here's
a
the thing,
human
here's the
being.
thing.
Clearly.
We wouldn't
Loving a
be
human-
having all of this
I understand it
conversation.
enough. I've got 3 sons and a daughter, and they don't play sport
Well, then where's
together
the dignity?
in a fair way.
Where's the dignity and
We
respect
wouldn't
on
be
this
having-
All right, let me wait. Let's move on.
You know when he lost the argument, I mean James, is when he said to Esther that a woman is gatekeeping womanhood. Please, somebody please make it make sense. Explain to me what does that mean? How is a woman gatekeeping womanhood? By saying that a man pretending to be playing dress up, or a man pretending to be a woman is not mentally well, or is mentally unstable is gatekeeping womanhood. Just wow. And you're so for inclusivity. You're so for inclusion. But again, let's not say that, or let's just forget about it, because how dare you as a woman not be so inclusive or not allow men to invade your spaces, biological men to invade your spaces. But again, remember that if you're being oppressed, or if your voices are not being heard, it is as a result of biological men. But remember that biological men too can invade your spaces, and all you have to do is be accepting and be also inclusive and all that yada 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 nonsense. It don't even make sense. Actually, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, to say a woman is gatekeeping womanhood. It don't even make any damn sense. But let's just ignore that and pretend that a man can be a woman. Isn't that crazy? That's the absolute highest level of lunacy. But again, this was interesting because obviously James had already lost the argument. So obviously, when he's given the opportunity to say something, he doesn't want to say anything. He just wants to counter your opinion or interrupt what you're saying. Exactly what the officer Tatum, and trust the officer Tatum to always call him out, or Esther to always call him out, because obviously you give people the airtime to speak, and it is their opinion, just as you have right to your opinion, and nobody is forcing their opinion on you. But if you want to force your opinion onto somebody, then something is wrong. And this is what the left does, or the liberals do with the woke mindset. They always want to interrupt you, don't want to contribute nothing, or don't want to say nothing, but interrupt what you're saying, counter it, and disrupt what you're saying, or cause some level of argument, and say and play the victim card or play whatever card. It don't make any sense. A man can never be a woman, nor can a woman be a man. It is that simple. And common sense is supposed to tell you. But it seems like the society itself has completely lost it, because they don't know what the difference, or they don't even know the definition of what a woman is. It's crazy. But let me know what you think. I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share. I would really love to share that. Can share the useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.